Hello, and welcome to the Perfect Franchise podcast.
I'm Kris, and joining me is my wonderful co-host, Andrea.
In this podcast, we're on a mission to help you discover all that franchising has to offer.
We'll explore expert strategies, interview successful franchise owners, and give you the tools to make informed decisions.
So whether you're considering your options or you're ready to take that plunge, we're here to support you every step of the way.
So let's jump into today's episode.
Hi, and welcome again to another TPF podcast. Today, we are very excited to have Mike Marceante, COO of Kids United, here with us. Mike, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it. Good to see you guys.
Mike, we're excited. Our clients always love anything in the children's space, and we do too. So we're excited to learn a little bit more about your business today. So tell us a little bit about Kids United. What is it? What inspired the creation of this brand?
Sure. So I wish Alex was here because it's his story, but I know it well enough I could tell. So Kids United is early development through soccer. So I know at face value, it's very easy to think that we're some, a soccer program or something like that. It's about early development and life skill building using soccer as the main methodology to teach children. Okay. It got started we opened the first location in 2018. Alex was a former CTO for his IT company. He did that for almost 2 decades. Was very unfulfilled with his career. Money's good, but it only goes so far, So he was very unfulfilled. He was also the master franchisor for Orange Theory in Israel. So he got his appetite wet with franchising, and he had aspirations to be a franchisor, but he needed an idea. He quit his IT job. He left his company, and he booked a ticket to Eastern Europe and was looking for an idea, something that is unique, something that could help. And he always had a passion for helping people, and especially working with kids. That was definitely a big goal for him. So he goes out there, and he ends up in this small city in Ukraine, and he's in a shopping mall. And as he's walking through, he sees, the normal retail stores, clothing store, retail store, whatever. And then he sees a bunch of little tiny kids playing soccer indoors in a mall. And he's like, what is that? So he goes in there, he asks for the owner, he ends up getting a meeting with the owner, and he learns about the concept and what this is. And he just falls in love with the idea. So he partnered up with this guy. They built the first location in Staten Island, New York in 2018. It took off right away. And then, we built it from there. We started franchising end of 2000. We had 2 corporate locations by the end of 2019. We started franchising. We sold 1 license. They were slated to open Q2 of 2020. March hit. Whole world shuts down. That thwarted all plans. Standby. We were shut down, obviously. When we were finally able to open, it was more about navigating the chaos of what was going on during the pandemic. Unfortunately, the partner and Alex did not mesh well during that time. The partner was kind of like, yeah, it's your problem. You guys deal with it. So he bought him out, and we ended up rebranding and changing everything to really, fit the American market. There was a lot of things on the branding side that didn't translate well to the American market. So we spent a lot of time rebranding. We hired a creative team that did Orange Theory branding. And here we are now. And we are at 38 licenses sold, 11 open. Number 11 is opening tomorrow with another 27 in the pipeline.
Yeah. That's great.
So we're really excited about Kids United. But let's drill down into, you said, this is about children's development. It just almost putting words in your mouth, but almost it just happens to use soccer to do that. I think a lot of people would say, hey, any sport, you learn critical life skills. So what do you really mean when you say this is children's development? It's not necessarily just about soccer.
Right. So we're focusing on early development concepts and life skill building, right? When you go to school, you learn reading, writing, arithmetic, all very useful skills, but they're not teaching you essentially what it means to be a person, right? Life skills, also known as soft skills, that's, setting goals, persevering through challenges to achieve those goals, leadership, teamwork, responsibility, assiduousness, all very useful skills that do not necessarily only apply to sports. You can apply them anywhere, school, work, relationships, anything in life, you can apply these ideals to. So that's the Kids United program. There's something known as the sensitive age, which is between the ages of 1 and 7. It's believed to be the period in our lives where we develop the most amount of our character. Our programs are designed to satisfy certain development requirements during these specific age ranges. Okay, we're using soccer as the methodology to teach them for 2 reasons. One, it's very fun, and children learn the most efficiently when they're having a good time, when they're having fun. They don't even know that they're learning. Okay, but more importantly, soccer is the only sport in the world that as long as you can walk, you can play. As long as you can walk, you can dribble and shoot the ball. You may not understand the concept of the game. You might not understand the concept of shooting the ball into the goal, but as long as you can walk, you can dribble that ball and you can shoot it. Every other sport requires a higher motor function in order to perform, right? Baseball, you need hand-eye coordination to catch the ball on a mitt or hit the ball with a bat. Basketball, you need to be able to shoot a ball into the basket. You can't do that when a 1.5-year-old. We're working with such young ages, 1.5 to 8 years old. You can't do that with those ages. Yeah, but around 3.5, 4, that's when you can start to introduce that. But 1.5, there's no way they could do that. But with soccer, they can.
So, Mike, dive into this a little bit more. So, what makes you unique compared to these other soccer? Soccer's become really big in the US, right? And so you hear everybody and their mother has a kid in soccer. That's
Right.
always the gateway sport, I think, to other sports in addition. So, how's this different than other soccer programs?
Sure. At the forefront is our state-of-the-art indoor facility. It is our dedicated facility. No other soccer program out there has a dedicated indoor facility. Most of them are outdoors, and then if they do come indoors, they're renting either some kind of sport dome or soccer dome or YMCA, church, school gymnasium, something. And of course, weather is a factor, but it's a very small factor of why we have the facility. Doesn't matter what the temperature is outside. Doesn't matter if it's snowing, raining, whatever. We always have classes, which we hear from our parents all the time is an issue with these other programs. If it rains, if their class is Tuesday and it rains 3 Tuesdays in a row, they're beat. They lose those 3 classes. But again, that's just a very small factor of it. The more important aspect of having our facility is it is our controlled environment to deliver this program. Okay, we have a special padded turf that's installed that keeps children healthy and safe while they're active. Kids under 10 should not be running on hard surfaces while their joints and spines are still growing. We have 2 coaches per class, so every child gets individual attention they need. We have a very robust amount of equipment within arm's reach right here on the field, over 25 different pieces of equipment. And typically all those other programs, whatever the coach can carry to their field or their session is what they can utilize. What can I carry? Sack of balls, some cones, spots, a couple goals. That's it. We have 25 different pieces of equipment. And every single drill is different, and every single drill is fresh, new. So they're never repeating anything. We hear it all the time from our parents. They signed up for so-and-so program, and the coach had them running up and down the field for an hour every week. Okay. But most importantly, we have a standardized curriculum that we developed. Every single drill is tried and tested. We have over 800 different drills. They never do the same thing twice. Okay. And that it's extremely important because it alleviates the variability of program design from coach to coach, which typically any other sports program out there, the coaches are responsible for creating the lessons for their kids. Okay. If you have a great coach, then that's great. But more often than not, they don't know how to program design. Okay, they play soccer and then they become a coach, but that doesn't mean that you understand how to create drills and lessons for such a young age group. Especially if your experience is mostly with older age travel team kids. Okay. So we've created uniformity across the brand because it doesn't matter what location you're at. This level 2 training 2 is the same exact lesson for throughout. Okay. But it allows us quality control. We train and certify the franchisee coaches in our curriculum. They know how to deliver this product. They know how to execute it. We know the type of results that parents will see from this program. So we're confident and we know that our parents, no matter what location they're at, are getting that exemplary Kids United experience.
That's great.
So that leads to a couple of questions. So you have the curriculum. you're making sure the coaches are trained and certified in that curriculum.
Correct.
So what does that mean for the owner and for the coaches the owner is looking for? And what I mean is, does the owner have to know anything about soccer?
Nope.
And how experienced do the coaches need to be? Do they need to be semi-pro European soccer players? Or talk to me about the owner, what they need to know, talking about who they're hiring as coaches.
Right. So owners do not need to know anything about soccer. Just to be honest, guys, I don't know the first thing about soccer. I was a musician my whole life, never really played sports. So that's absolutely fine. In terms of coaching, the only real prerequisite that we require with coaching is that they have either played soccer extensively, like they didn't do a rec team in middle school. They were on travel teams through high school, maybe college, or they understand the game enough because they do have to be able to help the children with their form and be able to assess them. Okay. Everything else is on us. The curriculum, the training, everything teaches them about the early development component of it. Okay. When we train and certify their staff, we elect someone from their team to be a head coach. And that person, that individual, is essentially the coaching manager. They are responsible for hiring new coaches. They're responsible for training new coaches. We will train this individual to be us in that location. They are the point of contact between our corporate head coach and their location. So any updates to the curriculum, any updates to the program, any feedback from their team to us will go through this individual. So we make sure that there's someone there that can do that because, again, the owners don't have to know soccer. They don't need to understand program design. That's for us to take care of.
So who's that ideal candidate then for you?
Franchisee candidate?
Yeah.
Ideal candidate would come from a membership-based business, the gym or something like that, and has a deep passion for making a very positive impact in their community. Uh, we always, we always tell everybody we're looking for the right partners that share our vision in this, that are looking to make an impact, or looking to help the next generation. Of course, we're all here to make money. That's a given. But this isn't a cash grab. We don't want someone that's just looking at the financials, doesn't want to work with kids, doesn't care about working with kids. We want people that align with us. We want someone who's going to be an extension of us in their market.
So somebody who has, that likes kids, likes growing kids, and wants to be out in the community. That's really sort of what I'm hearing from you is the key characteristics out there, just really getting the name out, being the face of the business. But then you have the coaches doing the actual coaching.
Exactly.
That's great.
So, Mike, talk to us about the kind of nuts and bolts of the business. We've talked about you're the only one with a dedicated indoor space. Talk to us about how big is that? What's it look like? What kind of places are franchisees putting these Kids United franchises in? And then once that's built out, how are they ramping up? What are the things that they're doing? What are the things that you're doing with them or for them to help them, get off to a fast start?
Sure. So the facility size is 2,400 square feet. That's what we're looking for. We're working with little guys. We got to keep them contained. You don't need a 20,000 square foot sports complex. 2,400 square feet in a retail shopping center. That's perfect. That's what we go for. Of the 2,400 square feet, 1,200 is dedicated to the field. So you need 1,200 square feet of column-free space. Width is important. So typically our field sizes are 30 by 40. Okay. When we're looking at markets, we're of course looking for population density, right? We look for 200,000 people within at least a 10-mile radius. I'm sorry, up to a 10-mile radius. And then, of course, median household incomes are important. We're looking for the middle-class family. We're looking for 100,000 to 130 median household income. But then we can go even further and we could actually look at the population density of the target age, children between the ages of 1 and 9. Which is definitely a more important number because, typically when we do these demo reports, we see that an area has 25,000 kids within their given radius. You need to capture 2% of that, and you are wildly successful here. Okay. If we told you needed 30%, you would hang up on us and be like, you're out of your mind. No way. But 2%, that's absolutely feasible. You could definitely grab that. We go even further Once you lock in an LOI with a landlord, we do a test campaign in the area to see what the interest level is. And just so you understand, we do all of our lead gen through social media campaigns, Facebook, Instagram, and Google. So we will run a campaign for like 1 or 2 days. And it's not just about the number of leads that you get in. We actually, the franchisee actually has to call the leads. And we want to hear kind of what everyone's thinking. Every single time we do one, everyone's like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! I want to sign up right now." And we do that as one extra step of protection for the franchisee to ensure their success in this market. God forbid, for some reason, they were to not get a large number of leads, or everybody they spoke to seemed disinterested. We would say, let's move to a different spot, because before you get locked in, 10-year lease, and you get stuck with this area, let's move somewhere else. As far as we understand, Kids United is the only brand that's doing that. But again, it's one extra step that we provide to the franchisees to ensure their success in their market. Once they sign the lease, everything's ready to go on our end. Our vendors process everything, so it's plug and play. Get them right on the path to opening the doors.
Pretty significant pre-launch strategy to make sure that they're testing that the market's viable, but then also bringing in people that are interested, so that when they open the doors, they're sort of ready to go. And so, Mike, hit a little bit on the model. So help me understand, how does this work? So you get people in the door day one, and what do they sign up for? What does this look like?
Are you talking about the pre-sale customers?
Yeah, or just people in the door. Are they signing up for a couple weeks of a program? How does it look like? Is it recurring revenue?
Yeah, it's recurring revenue. The memberships are typically monthly. After operating for about 6 months, you can introduce a quarterly membership. That's about the most amount of commitment that we require from them. So they'll again, we do all the lead gen through social media campaigns. So they'll see the ads, they fill out the form in the ad, we get their information. So all of our leads are organic. We don't do cold calling or anything like that. We give them a call, they pick up, we get their information, their child's information, and then we explain that specific program for the child, as well as explaining general overview of the entire Kids United program, so they understand the big picture. This is about development. When you think of Kids United, compare us more with school than you would soccer, right? All of our programs are 52 weeks long, year round. There's no gaps, there's no seasonality, nothing like that. So we need the parents to understand the big picture, and that this is an investment of time, because this is an investment of helping your child be the best version of themselves. It's going to take some time, and every kid develops at their own pace. Then we set them up for a free class. They come in, they try the class, and then we sell them on the membership.
Got it. Is there additional revenue streams besides sort of just that membership base that you're talking about?
There are. So the core, of course, is the memberships. That's the core.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a small product line of retail items that the parents, purchase. They're cute. Parents love it. The tracksuit, the backpacks, the water bottles, all that stuff. And then birthday party and events. That's another great source of revenue. Parents love our birthday parties. They get the entire facility to themselves. They get basically an open play in the field, set of games, obstacle courses, all this stuff. And then, of course, food, cake at the end, and birthday gifts and all that. It's a lot of fun. It's a tremendous amount of energy. And I mean, yeah, it's an additional revenue stream, of course, but it's also a great way, because these parents are going to bring like 20 other parents of friends and family, and better way. It's even better way to get people in the door, see the facility, see the product, get a feel for it. And, we get a lot of business through that, because then they end up booking free classes. They want to try it out, and then they sign up.
Yep. That's great.
Hey, Mike, one of the things we get, not specifically about Kids United, but any children's related franchise is, yeah, I really love the model, but kids, man, I don't know, liability. That scares me. No, I don't want to look at that.
Right.
How would you respond to that?
So this is about personal player development in a group setting. So we're not actually playing soccer. So there's really no risk of aggression or injury or anything. I mean, the most we see is a turf burn. Kid trips, scrapes his knee, gets right back up. He's back in it. So there's not too much in terms of liability. Plus, parents are required to be in the facilities at all times because we want them to be a part of their success journey. It's not just about safety. It's also so that they can watch their child progress through this program the length of their time with us. So I understand, people's apprehension with that, but with us, it's totally different. it's personal player development. And we train the coaches. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. We train the coaches on how to handle certain special situations. We encourage the franchisees, of course, to do background checks, and of course, encourage them to do some kind of CPR class, or at least if one or two people is at least CPR certified, always on shift, then we're good. So we do our part on that to mitigate that. But again, like I said, it's more along the lines of personal player development, so there's not too much risk in terms of liability.
Yeah. One other question I had, just operationally speaking, because we're talking little kids, but like during the school year, are classes running all through the day and into the evening? Are they more after school, or what's that look like?
So the base schedule is built for weekends and evenings, and the model works off of evenings and weekends. But we are, like I mentioned, we are working with 1.5 to 3.5-year-olds. They're not in school. Someone's home with them: mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, babysitter, whoever. They could bring them to that class. So we do have morning classes, usually 10, 11, 12, depending on the market, because it depends if there's if it's a heavy commuter town, it may be a little bit more challenges, but every location does have some level of morning classes. So because we're working with such young ages, we usually do them. I mean, of course, the younger ages are also in the evening, but the morning classes are pretty much geared towards that younger age group, so that because they're not in school.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
I always think about homeschool too. That's become really big
Oh
during
yeah,
COVID,
absolutely, absolutely.
right?
Well, kids, they can
Get
come.
some of that option. Yeah. No, it's great. I think, we've learned a lot. I think this is a great space. We really like, as I mentioned, the kids space. And I think this is something where you're focused on doing a little bit different. So thanks so much, Mike, for sharing all of that.
My
We
pleasure.
like to sort of wrap up a little by asking you some rapid fire questions that, put sort of Kids United aside. Think about yourself as somebody looking at a franchise brand. So, what would you tell somebody who's contemplating becoming a franchisee? So they're exploring it.
If they're looking to break into business ownership, they have that entrepreneurial spirit and they're looking for that jump. The good thing about franchising, of course, is that, the processes, the models have been built already. They're handing it to you. It's not like you're building a business from the ground up. If you feel that it's the right move for you, go with your gut and move forward with it. You can get trapped with the what ifs, thinking of every worst case scenario. And, especially if you compare it to your current 9 to 5 job, of course it's different. And just be ready to work hard. That's the big one, especially if you're looking to keep your job and do this, maybe semi-absentee or passive or anything. Just be ready to work hard and get it to where you need it to be, so you could, relax and kind of reap the benefits of being a franchisee.
Yeah, that's great. So what about if they've already bought the business and they're in year one? What advice are you giving them in that first year?
Trust the process. Trust the process. You're dealing with a lot of different personalities with people. If someone's handing you a viable business model, trust the process.
That's great. Well, thanks, Mike. This has been really, really great. I think a program where it brings in kids, it brings in sports, but it's really about sort of that development early on, hitting on sort of those younger age brackets that a lot of programs don't. I really enjoyed listening to you, hearing about this and hearing the backstory. I think was just really fabulous of how this came to be and how Alex developed this. So thank you so much for coming and sharing that today. So for those of you, if you're thinking about franchising, remember, while there's no one size fits all, there's the perfect franchise for you that's definitely out there. To explore your options, visit ThePerfectFranchise.com and click on Let's Talk to schedule a call with one of the consultants on the Perfect Franchise team. Until our next episode, take care. Look forward to connecting with you then.